I wondered why I was muted. I ended another broadcast. No sound. Yeah. There's the jackassery of the first minute by Jason Burmis right there. I know. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Wow. It's almost like I should start this one over, but it shows the imperfection of man. And that's a great allegory for what we're going to be talking about now, because I don't think that it is coincidental that all of a sudden they have this video out of Joe Rogan dropping N-bombs again and 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 again, and trying to make him out as a racist as they remove 70 plus Joe Rogan episodes. Okay? 70. They got rid of 70 of them. Goodbye. See you later. And this is it. If you don't realize by now, okay, this is the total takeover of society by the predator class via their globalist power structures in the United Nations as mouthpieces, you're not getting it. I'm sick of hearing about China and their censorship, okay? Our censorship is China's censorship now. Dragonfly and Google were the same thing. I warned you then. It's over. The censorship is here. I don't think Rogan's going to last another 6 months on that platform, by the way. We did a full video about how Sean Parker is really one of these people that has been a mover and shaker in the tech industry for predator class interests, and that's what Spotify is. We did the video about why Spotify was really problematic. And so, well, the big news everywhere today is going to be about Joe Rogan dropping N-bombs all over the place, right? That's going to be the news. I'm going to read down the line of who got censored because, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's over the top. You're talking about comedians. We're not allowed to have open conversations in this country anymore. We're not allowed to be wrong, okay? Unless you're wrong out of the gates and calling for censorship. You see how that works? Everything is an inversion of reality. So here's the deal, guys. I apologize about the audio asinine issues. It shows how imperfect I am. I'm actually going to have to delete this. I was going to go live on Podbean, and I saw that my mic wasn't working, and I thought it was an error over there. No, it was Jason Burmis jackassery is what it was. And it happens. I'm not perfect. I never said I was perfect. I try to get things right. Joe tries to get things right. I know a lot of you think he's coy, and I think at sometimes he is very calculated. But he's doing what nobody else in media is doing on a level nobody else can achieve. And he has people on by far telling more truth than what you're hearing in sound bites by paid off social climber wannabes. Okay? So let's just go through all the podcasts. Now they're up there from the latest versions all the way down. Now maybe Rogan wanted to take some of these down, but I would never encourage that. Here's my deal. I want my warts and all to show. If I get something wrong, if I said something stupid, okay, it happens. I'm a human. Let's let it all hang out. So D'Elia, and then of course we have Alex Jones returns. Say what you want about Alex Jones, but he gets people thinking. He has them looking in many of the right directions. I'm not talking about interdimensional demons from hell. I'm talking about Chinese-style censorship right here, right now. Okay? You get it? Gad Sad. All right? Now, these are the ones, all the ones with the green were literally the ones they just removed. Mike Ward and Pantelis. I don't know who that is. Is that a band? Michael Malice. Michael Malice, pretty, progressive, left-leaning guy, pretty intelligent, can have a conversation. Whether Michael Malice thinks you're wrong or not, he'll talk to you. That's nice. Kyle Kalinske. Hey, buddy, you joined the club, huh? Hey, Kalinske, you starting to get it yet? See, Kalinske is one of these guys to me that is like a pseudo-intellectual, kind of like David Pac-Man in a lot of respects. I think Kalinske is a lot more genuine, by the way, than the Pac-Man. But in an actual debate with either or, who comes out on top, guys? Do you think that I lose the debate between those guys, like on any issue whatsoever? I don't. I think those guys would be embarrassed to talk about the reality of politics with a guy like me. I'm just saying. But now, hey, you get to get censored too. You understand how it works? Theo Vaughn, a comedian. Tom Segura, hilarious. These are the new ones, the green ones. Owen Benjamin and Kurt Metzger. Ari Shaffir, Kreischer, and Segura, again, comedians. You can't talk comedy. There's Owen Benjamin. There's D'Elia again. Sargon of Akkad, he gets taken down. And Sargon of Akkad, I'm not defending the guy because I don't know enough about the types of things he talks about. I can tell you that from what I have seen, there were a lot of things that I did not agree with, but at least he built his audience on, talking about issues himself and not buying into, mainline philosophies. He said some things aren't appropriate. He's off. And he was one of those early ones they were deplatforming too. Like in the midst of the Alex Jones deplatformings. Ooh. Okay? So let's keep going down. Malice again. Theo Vaughn. See, Theo Vaughn also has a successful podcast. He also has a lot of these guests on. Okay? And they don't like that. They don't like the fact that Joe Rogan helped build an ecosystem for other comedians, intellectuals, and otherwise to gain audiences outside of the mainstream media, podcast or otherwise. You understand that? They don't like it. They don't like it. Gavin McInnes, Pete Holmes just taken off, okay? There's the Alex Jones, Eddie Bravo episode. Milo Yiannopoulos, another guy, very early on. Oh, it was about bigotry and, ultra right-wing misinformation. We got to get Milo. I was never a big Milo Yiannopoulos fan. Never once. But did I say deplatform him, get rid of him? No, I didn't. Here goes another comedian, Big J. Okerson. We'll see you later. Sayonara. This is the big story. We're going to come back to this in a second. This is the big story, not a compilation video of Joe Rogan dropping N-bombs. You get it? Now, I'm going to show one of my favorite albums. I dare not say it. Even though it doesn't have a hard R, and it has the A at the end, and myself, especially Joe Rogan himself, was only about a decade older than me, grew up in a generation where all of a sudden it was okay to like hip-hop and rap and that culture. And in many times it was a form of embrace. Now, I'm not saying that's how he was using it all the time, okay? But one of the comedy bits I did like about Rogan when he did, use the danger word, okay, is that he talked about it being a word that had such power over people and society, and it's just a word, okay? Well, this is just an album that I think it's my favorite Wu-Tang solo album of all time. I don't think it's close, by the way. Not that there aren't great albums, but man, there's just something about this album, and I love Old Dirty. We're going to bring up the cassette tape. That's what we're going to do. Let's see. Opening a new window. Oh, you can't even do it like that? Whatever. That's fine. We'll still bring up the cassette tape. Thumbs this up, subscribe, and share. I love this album. I think it dropped in 99. It has a lead track with Chris Rock rapping over it. Old Dirty Bastard's one of my favorites. That's the title of the album. That's the news story today, guys, is we need to cancel Joe Rogan because of that. Not that they censored another 70 episodes, most of them comedians. Kip Anderson. Keegan Kuhn, producers of Conspiracy. Oh. The C word. It's so dirty. TJ Kirk, goodbye. Aubrey Marcus, goodbye. Gavin McInnes again. Did we already do those? No. I think that's a, yeah. Maybe I did do those ones. No. I guess Milo again. Yeah, Milo again. Those were already taken down. Brian Redban. Oh, just a conversation with the guy he basically started the podcast with. You're out. You're gone. See you later. We're already in Chinese-style censorship. We live in the post-truth world. Let me repeat this. The post-truth world. And look, $100 million is a lot of money. But, Joe can make that on his own. Oh, sorry, wrong one. This is the post-truth world right here. Post-truth world. Let's talk about AI. Let's talk about automation, right? Let's talk about the state of work, right? All before COVID 1984 hits. Quantum computing, Russia on the table. It's the post-truth world. Saudi Arabia and Iran. By the way, shout out to Iran. And now I don't normally say that. But if anybody out there watched the opening ceremony yesterday at the Olympics in China, every single Olympic coward, was masked up. Everyone, except for one woman. One woman, okay? She had her mask off. She was smiling and so happy, waving that flag, and she happened to be Iranian. Now, I just want to say right here, right now, as we go on, good for you. I happen to have a big crush on you, and if you'd like to get married, let's get in touch. Let's get to know each other. Because you go through... I was watching it yesterday. I was watching this opening ceremony in Beijing, and, they had their people out there, and there was a big rollout for China, but as nation after nation after nation after nation came out, and everybody was wearing the mark of slavery, I just wanted to puke in my mouth. And then finally, someone comes down the front of the aisle. I get to see them smiling in what should be one of the proudest moments of their life. Again, it starts with censoring Brian Redban and Joe Rogan, and it ends with you wearing the mark of the slave and not being able to share your humanity forever. Forever. And hey, we'll take $10 million from the GoFundMe of the truckers. We'll just say they're bigots. See how it works? Let's keep going down the line. Tom Segura and Christina Pazitsky. Whatever that means. Pazitsky. I don't know Christina Pazitsky, but you're out. Is that his wife or is that another comedian? Again, we can't have conversations with comedians. They're canceling Segura too. Tom Segura. Again, don't be hilarious. Don't make relevant points about reality. My goodness. Charles C. Johnson. Russell Peters. David Seaman. David Seaman, love him or hate him, he was one of the people that dared talk about those Podesta emails in a way that we weren't allowed to. Okay? And then Seaman was removed a long time ago. But again, we're going to go down the line. Ryan Parsons has joined the club, whoever that is. Stefan Molyneux, we'll see you later. Rich, again, and it was okay when it was Stefan Molyneux and Sargon of Akkad and Gavin McGinnis and Alex Jones. And quite frankly, again, a lot of those guys I disagree with wholeheartedly on many issues. You don't hear me talking about them or, using their talking points. I never said, let's deplatform them. Okay, Rich Voss, comedian, we'll see you later. There's Dalia again, gone. Bert Kreischer, gone. Again, and Bert Kreischer, man. Bert friggin' Kreischer, again and again and again. You hit the list. Bill Burr is on here. Greg Fitzsimmons is on here. We'll get to them in a little bit. But again, comedians. Comedians I happen to think are funny. Jason, you bigoted bastard. Again, the story today will be about Joe Rogan dropping N-bombs, not about Chinese-style censorship on Spotify, which again, comes out of Napster, comes out of the mind of Sean Parker. Okay? And Sean Parker, a kid they tried to recruit by the CIA, tried to recruit. Okay? Who then gets in with Facebook, and his main guy at Facebook, who put all this power behind Zuckerberg. Yeah, okay. Bilderberg member, along with his steering partner, the steering member, Peter Thiel at the time. Go watch my Why Spotify is Really Problematic video. Huh? Let's keep going down the line. Dan Savage joins the club. Moshe Kasher joins the club. You know what? Let's make this bigger. I should have done this a while back, but we'll do that. Look at that. Now you can all really read them, okay? Eliza Schlesinger, goodbye. David Seaman, Louis Theroux. Louis Theroux off there. I mean, oh boy. David Seaman, War Machine. Neil Brennan taken off there. Wow, they just took off Neil Brennan, comedian. Like, if you don't know Neil, not only is a comedian, I believe he was the other guy behind the Chappelle Show. Brian Dunning, Dave Asprey. Shane Smith, and now Mark Maron. Hey, Mark. Hey, Mr. Lefty Mark Maron. How do you like that? Is that good for you too? By the way, Rockfin, thank you so much. Dallas of Odd, here's to not being perfect. I really appreciate that. Yeah, sometimes you screw up when you're Jason Burmess. We had a little technical difficulty of my jackassery in the beginning. So again, hey, Mark. You know, I get it. You're busy acting. You got the Netflix job. Glow was a fun show. I didn't mind it, Mark. But you also, you're one of those guys. Cancel. Let's demonize other thought. Let's call everybody a conspiracy theorist. Well, happened to you too, buddy. Happened to you. Goodbye. David Seaman, Dave Asprey. Again, Bert Kreischer, Ari Shaffir, and Amy Schumer. Like, what is that? Oh, Ari Shaffir and Amy Schumer now. That's a great idea. Greg Fitzsimmons. I love Greg. You know, he's a little too taboo for Rogan now. Stanley Krippner, Christopher Ryan, J.D. Kelly. They took off the Stephen Greer episode. What? Really? Sam Sheridan, Tim Ferriss, Ian Edwards, Matt Vengren, Brian Redband, Ari Shaffir, David Seaman, Abby Martin, Del Cameron, and Brian Redband. So I'm actually surprised they haven't taken off more of Abby Martin stuff because Abby's very intelligent. I think she's probably going to be in the next wave of them taking off. Just a thought. Dave Asprey, David Seaman. Oh, look at that. They took off Maynard James Keenan 1 and 2. That's the lead singer of Tool. Comedians, left-wing commentators, rock and roll stars that think for themselves. Goodbye. We'll see you later. This should be a massive story all over. And if we had a real media, they would be like, why is this happening? This is insane. We don't like this. Instead, they're like, get Joe Rogan. We're going to N-bomb play that. That's the next month and a half if we can't get him to be canceled for all the way. You get it? You understand? So there's Kokesh. Shout out to Adam Kokesh. He's texted me a couple of times in the past couple weeks. Listen, me and Adam don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. He was one of the first people. I don't think he ever made the Spotify playlist. I think he was taken off out of the gates. Oh, no. You know, a dangerous libertarian anarchist isn't allowed to talk. Huh. Giorgio Sakoulis. I'm not sure who that is. Let's see. Ari Shaffir, Eddie Bravo, Brody Stevens, Brian Callen, Jimmy Burke, and Brian Redband. See ya. See ya. We'll see ya. Stephen Ranella, Nick Thune, Dave Attell. Oh, Dave Attell is too risque. Dave Attell. Up all night, Dave? I like Attell. A funny guy. Really not a lot of politics in his comedy, at least not that I've ever seen. Bye. Gonski. Let's keep going down the line. Added to the list. Brian Redband again. Live from the Ice House Part 1. We'll see you later. Kevin Smith Part 4. Wow. Well, can't have Kevin Smith on. Movie director. Again, pretty left-leaning guy. Nope. We'll see you later. Bert Kreischer, goodbye. Joey Diaz, Brian Redband, Jamie Kilstein. I'm pretty sure he's a comedian. Nope. Sorry, Kilstein. Jan Irvin, goodbye. Ari Shaffir, Russell Peters, Junior Simpson, Neil Brennan again now. Brian Potion. Oh! Listen, Brian's one of those guys. He's a pretty funny comedian. You've seen him in Rob Zombie movies. The guy that gets murdered in The Devil's Rejects by knocking on the door and just gets his head blown right off. You know, he's a funny guy too. He writes for the WWE, I think. But again, leans pretty left. I just saw him in the Hunt for QAnon special over at, what was it? Paramount Network with the Reno 911 gang. Has a part in that. Hey, Brian, they just censored you too. Bye. See ya. Or you get. But this isn't the big story. Every single one of these people who hasn't stepped up already to defend Joe Rogan and freedom of speech should be doing that immediately. Immediately. They should be wondering why they can't be taken off next. Or are they that dense? I don't get. How could you not understand what's going on here? Cliffy B and Johnny Cristo, Duncan Trussell. We'll see you later. Bye, hippie. Bye, hippie Duncan. Joey Diaz and Brian Redband taking off. Doug Benson, the genius behind Super Jaime. I like Doug too. They took off the Doug Benson episode. Doug Benson, too controversial. Let's see. John Heffron, Daryl Wright, Brian Whitaker, Freddie Lockhart, and Brian Redband. Jim Norton, we'll see you later. Bill Burr, we'll see you later. Bill Burr, A-list comedian. One of the pioneers of modern comedy podcasts of just talking into a mic. You know, Bill Burr, everyman. I interviewed Bill Burr well over a decade ago. You know what I'm saying? Bill Burr, goodbye. Dave Foley from The Kids in the Hall, goodbye. Andy Dick, goodbye. Pete Johansson. Sam Tripoli, my boy. It's an honor, Sam. Sam Tripoli, who we've done many a podcast with over at the Tinfoil Hat and otherwise, now being taken off. Isn't there a few that you're on there, Sam? I'm surprised that would be the first one they just took you off of, but I don't think this is going to be the first purge. I think that they're going after Rogan right now. This isn't even a news story. Nick Swartzen and Ari Shaffir. Nick Swartzen taken off. Again, boy, Nick, I think I watched the Nick Swartzen episode. What was Big Dairy upset that he'd stopped drinking milk and having cheese? Is that why we had to get him, Spotify? What is this? Jason Thibault, Brian Redband. Let's see, Duncan Trussell, Little Esser, Brian Redband, Duncan Trussell, Tyler Knight. Yep, there's a second Sam Tripoli. Yep. Sam, you got it twice. Bye, Sam. Not allowed to talk. Nope. Brian Redband, Tom Segura, Brian Redband, and a fight companion. All gone now. Bye. See ya. See ya. See ya. And you're not worried yet? You don't think we live in China-style censorship? Of course we do. So, here's the deal, guys. What I do need you to do is thumbs it up, subscribe and share if you're new to the channel. If you don't know, we've been demonetized for well over 2 years, have no way to make money here. I usually would tell you to go down in the links below and go to the GoFundMe, but they've been so treasonous and thieving that I'm going to have to set up some kind of a give, send, go. And that's going to be the new thing that I'm using because I look, those people down in Canada are doing the right thing. And we should be ashamed that we haven't stepped up and done the right thing for the rest of the country. You know, I'm spoiled because I moved my family to Iowa and it's ending. So I'm going to try to get rid of this by the weekend and set something else up. I want to thank Odyssey for backing me up. YouTube's taken my channel down 4 times. 4 times. Quattro. Okay? I fought and I've got my channel back every time. But it's over 14 years of work. So if you want to see that, thank you, Odyssey, for backing it up. If you want to see my uncensored stuff, so like in the last year plus, we've had to have broadcasts where we bring people over to Rockfin because YouTube otherwise would strike us down for daring to try to tell the truth and share information they deem impermissible on the platform. Rockfin's where it's at, ROKFIN.com. You hit that subscribe button while you're on Jason Burmis, or you think you're already subscribed to Jason Burmis. Make sure that if you are, you check it out. It's $9.99 a month or $99.99 for the year. It really does help support me. And I know I say this a lot, but we're trying to expand. And literally today, I got off the phone. And remember that original building I was trying to buy? Well, it doesn't look like I'm going to have the purchase opportunity on it. But the rental opportunity actually may happen if the right terms come into play. Let's just say that. And it's a really nice spot. And who knows, maybe by April 1st, we could actually be rocking and rolling. I can't guarantee that, but that's what we're trying to do. All my documentary films are free. If you haven't seen them, I assure you, they are not as technically difficult or long-winded as Jason Burmis. They are actually really a guide to what's happening right now. So 9/11, Loose Change, Final Cut, and Fabled Enemies. If you want the bigger pictures, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture, I'm on Getter as well. I love you guys. It is not about left or right. It is always about right and wrong. And I hope that you join me in becoming the great resistance to this very real Great Reset agenda that includes the censorship we discussed in this broadcast.